some of the technical issues we're dealing with. Pretty normal when you're doing a Zoom. Oh, Jamin, hello, welcome. We've just got one more presenter, but that's okay. We're going to troubleshoot that on the back end here. So welcome to our very first Guess My Job event. I wonder if I can see all the students at George J wave. Who are you from George J? Let's see. Hey, hello. Awesome. Look at all that enthusiasm. That is great. Now, how about Tillicum? Who are students from Tillicum? Woohoo! Hey, Tillicum. That's awesome. Look at all this energy this morning. You guys must have got a good sleep last night. It's awesome. All right, so we are going to have a little fun today. Some of you may have seen me in your schools, you may not have, but I work in elementary and middle schools teaching career education. So this fun morning is all about you letting me know what you know about different careers out in your community are. So we are going to get you to be asking yes and no questions. Our panelists are just going to say yes or no, and then you're going to have time to guess what you think they do. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And because there's so many classes, you guys can see which class knows the most about what grown-ups do all day. All right. Okay, so just some housekeeping. This is especially for the teachers, just to give you a sense of how this is going to go. Classrooms will stay on mute, but the teachers, if they could please rename, if you haven't already, rename yourself with your last name and your school, just so I can keep everybody straight. So go under your profile and change your profile name and school. Teachers will be putting yes and no questions in the chat, so I'll be watching the chat. I need to take a look at that. I see there's some messages there now. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat, and then we'll relay the questions to our panelists. Once the panelists have answered their yes and no questions, you are going to go ahead and do a Zoom poll. So you're going to see a poll come up on the screen. You're going to see a series of 6 different careers, and you're going to decide what career you think that panelist does based on those yes and no questions. And you guys are going to be able to see what the other schools thought as well. So we're all going to be able to look at each other's results. So this should be a lot of fun. At the end, just for the teacher's knowledge, we're going to send bios of all of these panelists so that they can do some follow-up with students at the end. All right. Any questions? Teachers have questions? I'm just going to look in the chat here just to make sure you're clear. Jennifer Harvey. Oh, yeah, okay. Ms. Harvey, are you able to get in? I see there's a question mark. Ms. Harvey from George J, are you there? I wonder if she's having some technical difficulties still getting in.
One of the adults in my room has just gone to check on Miss Harvey down the hall.
Okay, I'll leave her to the end though. She was my first class to ask a question. So what we're going to do first is we're going to talk to panelist one. Panelist one, do you want to wave your hand? Paul? Great. Okay, we're going to ask Paul some questions about what he does all day. So let's start with Miss Heffelfinger's class. Who are they? You guys want to wave? Hello. All right, so let's look in the chat and let's see what your first question is for panelist one. Oh, she's typing. Here we go. Oh, okay. So we've got Miss Harvey and Miss Heffelfinger's classes have come together, it sounds like. Okay, first question, Paul. Does your job require you to be strong or athletic?
No.
No. All right. Next question. Does your job involve crafting with materials like wood or paint?
No.
Who we got here? Oh, they had another one. We'll come back to, so we're just going to do one question per class first, and then I'll come back to each class after all the classes have asked questions, all 4 of them. So Miss Leduc, so we've got, do you work in the creative arts?
Yes.
Nice. Miss Crystal's class, do you work outside?
No.
No. All right. Miss Harvey and Miss Heffelfinger, we've got, oh, you guys asked another question. Does your job require you to work in a specific place?
No.
Ah, interesting. Do you work outside?
No.
Do you travel for work?
Yes.
You travel. Do you drive a vehicle for work?
No.
No vehicle. Okay, let's take the last question here. Does your job involve rescuing?
No.
That's a good question.
All
All right. All of the classes that are here, I'm going to put a poll up and you can vote with your teacher which career you think Paul does. So here comes the poll. What does panelist 1 do? Is he a chef? Is he a computer programmer, works with technology? Or an artist? Or a tradesperson, works on a career or on a construction site? A nurse? Or a hairstylist? What do you think panelist number 1 does? So you're
Bonnie,
gonna
we just can't see the poll.
Oh, all right. Let me try something here. Okay, can you see it now? No? All right. Oh, here it's coming.
Bonnie, we can see your screen as well.
Yeah, thank you. You know what? I did shut it off. Pause share, stop share. There we go. Artist. Wow. Okay, so all of you thought the panelist 1 is an artist. That's very interesting. Okay, we'll find out at the end. Oh, do we have everybody? Are people still? No, people are still, sorry. Keep polling. I apologize. There's still more answers coming. Chef. One of our classes thinks he's a chef. Let's see. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. Chef for artists. Anybody else? Yeah, we got maybe 1 or 2 more classes.
Chef or artist.
Paul, you're a chef, it sounds like. Okay, have I got everybody? Thumbs up if you have already chosen a career. Yeah, am I missing anybody? All right, great. Okay, we're gonna end that poll. All right, we're gonna go on to panelist number 2, Matt. There's Matt at the top there. Panelist 2. All right, let's start with Miss Harvey and Miss Heffelfinger's class. What would you like to ask Matt? Oh, we got some good. All right. Okay, Matt, did you go to university or college?
Yes.
You did. Does your job involve rescues?
No.
Do you work with music?
No.
All right. Anybody else? Let's just put some more questions in there. Do you sit at a desk for work?
Yes.
Do you work in information technology?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Kind of.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, do you want to say no? I think for
No.
this, maybe.
No.
Has COVID changed how you do your job?
Yes.
That's a good question. Oh, and someone's wondering, is your job fun?
The most fun. Yes.
Do you have to be somewhere specific?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, let's take a couple more questions here. Does your job involve building?
No.
No building. Is it physical?
Yes.
Do you do coding in your job?
No.
No coding. Do you drive a vehicle for your work?
No.
No. How about animals? Do you work with animals?
No.
No animals. Okay, let's take a couple more questions. Oh, that's a good one. Do you do tedious jobs?
I need an example. Like, what's a tedious job?
That's a good one.
No.
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 You don't find your job tedious?
No, I don't find it tedious.
And let's just say we'll wrap it up. Do you work at home?
Sometimes.
So you have the option then to work at home
Yeah.
sometimes. What's that one say? Oh, I see. They were just explaining what tedious means. So that takes something that takes forever. So lots of little things to have to be managing.
No.
No. All right. Okay, we're going to go to our poll. Hopefully I get this working better this time. You guys are going to guess what you think Matt does. Here comes the poll. All right. Is panelist 2 a chef, works in a restaurant, a computer programmer, so works with technology, an artist, a tradesperson who works on a construction site, a nurse who works in a hospital, or a hairstylist?
This is so funny, this thing. It's so cute. It's actually so.
I think we've got some pretty deep thinking going on here. Oh, quite a cross section. Some think computer programmer, some think nurse, some think hairstylist. Oh, artist. If your class has answered, let's see a big thumbs up so that I know that, yeah, nice. Okay, great. Well, that's quite a cross section. Okay, we are going to move on to panelist number 3. Lindsay, you're up. So
Hi.
let's start taking some questions for Lindsay. Lindsay, did you go to university to do your job?
Yes.
You did. Is your career medically related?
No.
Do you travel for work?
No.
No travel. Do you work with computers?
No.
No computers. Do you work inside?
Sometimes.
Do you fight COVID?
Well, we're all fighting COVID, but no.
No. Do you work with animals?
No.
Do you work with food?
No.
Does it involve constructing with materials, paint, or wood? These are good questions.
Yes.
It does. Do you drive for your job?
No.
No driving. Do you work in a building?
Sometimes.
Are materials or ideas more important in your occupation?
Yes.
Are you in the
Oh,
art? Oh,
that was
sorry.
yes or no, right?
Yeah, just yes or no. Are you in the arts?
No.
No. Do you work with other people?
Yes.
Okay, I think we're gonna, is there any last minute questions that we want to get in? Yeah, I see someone typing there. All right, last question, I think here. Are you an engineer?
No.
Okay. Okay, so you've heard, oh, is there another question? Or are we good? I think we're good. So we heard from Lindsay. So we're going to go back to the poll again, and you are going to think about what you think Lindsay does all day. So panelist 3. Same choices. Is she a chef, computer programmer, artist, a tradesperson, a nurse, or a hairstylist? So can you guys see the results or not? Matt's saying no. No, you can't. Okay. I'm learning all sorts of new things today on Zoom. Does anybody know a quick fix for that to be able to see a poll? I don't know why. When we tested it, we could see it. I don't know why now it's not working. Share results. Share results. Okay, let me just see if I can do something once the poll's done. Okay. Okay, thumbs up for classes that have entered something in the poll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Okay, so it looks like, Lindsay, they think that 90% think you're a tradesperson and one class thinks you're a hairstylist. There we go. Oh, here we go. There you go. Sorry, I didn't see that there before. So those are the results of that poll for Lindsay. Okay, we're on to panelist number 4, Sherry. Are you all ready, Sherry?
I'm ready. Thank you.
Okay. We have 4 classes that are voting. The other classes are voting in the polls, but not asking questions, just because we don't have quite enough time for all those questions. But everybody's in the polls. Does that clear?
Excellent.
Yeah, okay. So what are we going to ask Sherry? Do you work on or near the sea?
No,
No. Do you work with hair?
no,
Not with hair. Do you work at home?
yes,
Yes, you work from home. Do you work with helping people? Do you help
Yeah.
people?
yes, I do.
Do you travel with your work?
When there's no COVID situation happening, yes, I do.
Ooh, someone's asking outright, are you a nurse? But I don't think we're going to use that question because that's really going to give away the guess my job. So we were not going to ask you directly that, but we are going to ask you, do you need a degree to get your job?
Sometimes,
Okay. Do you work with computers?
yes, I do.
Let's see if we've got a few more questions here. Do you work in a creative job?
I'd like to think I work in a creative job.
Do you work with medicine?
No, I do not.
No, not medicine. Do you work with children?
No, I do not.
No, just adults. All right, we have any more questions to come in? Yeah, I think we've got. Oh yeah, lots of questions still. Do you work in human resources?
No, I do not.
Okay, maybe last couple questions. Oh, little typing going on. Oh, 3 of them. 3 more questions, it looks like. Are you a decoder?
A decoder. No, I
decoder.
do not decode.
Okay. Did COVID change your job?
No, not specifically.
Okay. Do you work with the government at any level?
Yes, I do.
You do work with the government. And last question, do you use coding for your job?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. All right, we're gonna move to polling. We're all good. Thumbs up, we're good to go to polling. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, here we go. Let's see what you think Sherry does. Four. All right. You got the same choices to decide between. Okay. We've got everybody? No, we've got a few more classes still deciding. Yeah. Okay, thumbs up if you've decided and put your choice in the poll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Mrs. Hemis, have we got yours in there too? I think so. All right. Let's take a look and see what you guys thought Sherry does. So many of you thought computer programmer and one class thought tradesperson. Very interesting. Okay, on to our last panelist. Jamin, you're panelist number 5. You ready for your questions? Okay. All right, classes, let's get some questions going for Jamin. He's our last panelist. Oh, I see lots of questions being held up. Does what you do, is it connected to the arts?
Yes.
Yes, it is connected to the arts. What else do you want to know here? Oh, do you work with food?
No.
No. Do you work in an office?
No.
Do you travel with your work?
Yes.
He does travel. Do you work in a store or sell something?
Yes.
You do, you sell something. Do you do a tedious job that takes a long time to do? Lots of detail.
No.
No, not tedious. Do you work in a hospital?
No.
Do you work in a studio?
Yes.
You do. He works in a studio. Do you have fun in your job?
Very much. Yes.
Oh, sounds like you love your job. All right. Any last questions? Here we go. Do you train others?
Yes.
I see a couple more questions coming in. Do you work with people?
Yes.
You do. You work with people. Well, I see a couple more coming in. Do you have a cleanup crew?
No.
You do not. That would be nice though, wouldn't it? Do you work with animals?
No.
All right. I think we're kind of getting close to our last question here. Do you draw for work?
Yes.
Yes, he draws for work. All right, we're gonna put the polls up. Are we good? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Let's see what you guys think that Jamin does. Oh, I think that they're on to you, Jamin, potentially. Are we good? Do we have anybody? Thumbs up if you've been able to put something on the poll. You've decided? Yeah, we're all good? Okay, let's look at the results. Looks like they think you might be an artist, Jamin. I guess they'll find out in a few minutes. Okay. So we're at the part now where our panelists are going to turn their video off. They may have a uniform, they might have tools of their trade with them. And when they come back, they're going to share with you what they do and why they do it. So panelists, we'll see you, and as soon as you're ready, you can just join back again. If it takes 2 minutes, if it takes 3 or 4, that's totally fine. And for our classes, I have a fun poll for you to do while you're waiting. You guys ready for something fun to do? Oh, and the enthusiasm is waning a little. All right, so panelists, we'll see you soon. Let's do a fun pool, a fun poll with our classes. What jobs, oh, here it comes. What jobs really exist? A water slide tester, a dog food taster, a professional sleeper, a full-time Netflix watcher, or all of the above? What do you guys think? No, they can come back all together in the. So someone's mentioned a snack break. That's probably a really good idea. Would you guys like a little break? Oh, someone's wondering what my job is. Ooh, I'll share that at the end. Okay, so teachers, how long would you like a break for? Do you just want students to go and grab a snack and come back, or 5 minutes? Okay, we're gonna take a 5-minute snack break. Sound good? And so we will meet back at 10:40. 10:40. Okay, guys, go grab a snack and we'll see you in a few minutes. So panelists, the kids are just taking a bit of a break. So they'll come back at 10:40, 5 minutes. Okay, if I can get classes to come back to their seats. Panelists, if you could not join us quite yet, I will call you up one at a time. Paul, you might have gotten, some students may have noticed that you were working, but we'll see. We'll see how we do there. I've turned your camera off, Paul. So let's just wait for my go ahead before you turn it back on.
Just give us a minute to regather, okay?
Yeah. Okay, let's get a thumbs up if you guys are ready to find out what our panelists do. 1, 2, 3. Tillicum, are you guys ready? Awesome. George Day. Great. Okay, we're going to start with our panelist number 1, Paul. Like I said, some of you may have seen him at work a little bit, but let's see. Paul, why don't you join us? Tell us a little bit about what you do, why you love what you do, maybe how you knew that that job was a good fit for you.
Am
Okay,
I there, Bob?
I'm just going to turn your video back on here. There
Hello.
we go. Paul, what do you do all day?
What I do all day is I'm a hairdresser.
You're a hairdresser. Now, is that your salon that you're in right now?
And yes, it's my salon that I'm in right now. I'm just gonna
How
remove
long
the-
have you done that, Paul?
I've actually been cutting hair for 44 years.
And just as a side note, I graduated a very long time ago, and Paul did my grad hair in 1990. So Paul and I go way back, don't we, Paul?
We certainly do. It's a long time ago that I first met your mother, and of course you, beautiful Bonnie, too. So it's great. It's actually quite fun when, of course, you know, the kids ask us certain questions, which is hard with a yes or no, because you want to twist it slightly, and of course can't give away the job they're doing. But if any of them want to or think that they like to do hair, they're more than welcome to pop by and come in the shop and say hi. But it's the most wonderful job in the world.
What do you love most about your job?
Meeting beautiful people like you and the wonderful stories and memories that you can never forget from all the people. That takes over more than what the job does for you. It's actually wonderful doing the hair, making people look beautiful and having fun, but the memories of the history of the people you never forget. They all become your best friends.
So it's those connections that are really meaningful
The
to you.
connections, exactly. And also, I mean, you know, because of the children being the age they are, they've got to remember they one day will become as old as yourself and myself. And so you've got to enjoy and love what you're doing for a long time. And so I would not actually ever have wanted to do anything different in the whole world, because, you know, to go through 44 years and still have a smile on your face and love doing what you're doing, that's all that counts.
Awesome. Thank you, Paul. Now, when did you know that you wanted to do this?
It's a funny story. Can I say the funny story?
I think
The
so.
funny story was I was 14 years old
14.
and I was working in a clothing store selling clothes. And with the money that I could earn selling the clothes, I could only buy a tie at the end of the week. And these hairdressers used to come in and buy suits and shirts and all the wonderful clothes. And I'm thinking, I don't want to sell clothes for the rest of my life. I would prefer to become a professional and have the opportunity to make more money and be able to purchase the things I wanted to purchase. So I decided, being artistic at the time, into arts and being into designing things and stuff, I thought, well, okay, I'm going to try hairdressing, and I absolutely loved it. So the moral of that story is do something that you love, and that way, then of course, it will pay you off in the future.
Yeah, makes for a happy life, doesn't it?
Happy life, exactly.
Yeah. And just very briefly, the training that you did, can you just give a little snapshot? Because I can always go back and answer these questions too.
Okay, so with my training in England, I grew up in London, England, and we had what they call grade 6 and upper 6 and lower 6, which is equivalent here of grade 12. So our when we were kids, we could leave school in grade 11, but we still went to what they call a technical college. So my hairdressing was actually taught to me by a technical college in my grade 12. Like the schools are doing here in a roundabout way. They're sending like George J. I think one of the schools sends out the kids to us for training.
From Vic High.
Vic High, that's it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Vic High. Yeah. So we've actually employed 3 girls from Vic High.
Great.
And it's a fabulous training. And so what I did is I went from school to technical college, and then from technical college I went to Vidal Sassoon, and then that's where I met someone who actually lived in Canada and asked me to come to Canada. So
Great.
that's the training. So it's a similar sort of thing going to Vic High. I did, but on a different note. I actually left school completely and did hairdressing all day long.
Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, you're right. So one of our high schools has a hairdressing program. You can start training to be a hairdresser while you're still in high school. So put that in the back pocket and think about that maybe down the road. But thank you, Paul.
That is a good one. That is a good one for the kids to remember, to tell their parents if they want to be hairdressers or something. Vic High, of course, all the different. Reynolds has one for soccer, different ones for baseball, one for hairdressing is Vic High, and very, very good thing to do.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Paul, for joining us.
You're welcome.
Everybody want to do a little clap for Paul? Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Good work.
Bye.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Bye-bye. All right, on to panelist number 2. Matt, do you want to share with us what you do all day? Oh, any guesses out there in the classes when you see Matt?
I got my uniform on here. I got some other
Uniform on?
stuff too. I got this prop here.
Oh, what do you think Matt does?
I've also got this prop here. That's
What
why it was hard to answer some of your guys' questions. I got
else?
technology and
You
kinds of
have to
stuff.
wear many hats, don't you? Okay.
yes. So I
Yeah.
am a nurse. And most of my career I've spent working in the ER at VGH. And so I very likely have met some of you potentially, if you've ever been to that ER as a child or anything like that. Anybody with broken arms or any of those kinds of things or other ailments. And then for the last couple of years, I've gone into the leadership half of nursing. So it's just one of the great things about nursing is the opportunities are almost endless with the amount of directions and things that you can do and go into. But I will always love working in the ER. It's just some of the greatest experiences I've ever had, and just feels so wonderful. And similar to Paul, I like it partly because it feels like a bit like service, like you're doing something of service to a community and to people, but then also getting a paycheck, which is a really nice bonus when you feel like you're providing something that's really needed and wanted in your community.
So the ER, guys, is the emergency room. So hands up, anyone been to the emergency room at the hospital? Well, there you go. You might have met Matt.
That's right.
Possible. Matt, how did you know you wanted to get into nursing? What led you there?
I think just really enjoy, again, similar to like meeting people and building relationships, and then the helping people thing was really really sort of key as well. But I think the biggest thing was I just had a hero of mine is my mother, who was a paramedic. And I got to spend lots of times with her in ambulances and at the ambulance station. And it just sort of, seeing and experiencing that just made me realize that was something I wanted to do as well. So like something along those lines. And so it just sort of happened that I went to a education session about nurses with a friend once upon a time, and because it was something you have to do before you go into nursing school to take your university courses. And it just was like, okay, I'm going to do this as well. We're signing up at the same time. So it was just, yeah, all a bit of fate and yeah.
Kind of following the things that are interesting you and seeing where it leads. What was your favorite subject in elementary school, Matt?
My favorite subject was math. I
Okay.
definitely am. I just love math. Huge math nerd. I liked trying to get far ahead in the workbooks and the textbook and that kind of thing. Yeah, so it'd be math, number one, followed by other ones. Yeah, in elementary school, probably science, all the science stuff. Like,
And I bet in high school, I'm sure that's where you blossomed and were able to take more science and math.
And PE. I loved PE in high school. I don't know, just getting out and being on a team as well, I think is a really good part of nursing and something that I learned in high school, being part of sports and in the PE classes too. Yeah, gym.
So you really like being on your feet and moving. New experiences are exciting for you. Because I guess in an ER, you never know what's going to walk in the door, do you?
That's right. It's like maybe this isn't a good anecdote, but it's like every person coming is like a problem, like a math problem that you get to solve, and you don't have a lot of time either. So you got to kind of use all the tools you've got to try to solve the problem as quickly as you can, so we can get on to the next one. And problems that sounds bad, but it is, when you think about math, a problem is a good thing to try to solve. So yeah.
Great. And so Sherry just mentioned that she wants to thank you for being our modern day hero, especially this year. We appreciate all the work that nurses have done to keep us safe, especially during COVID. So thank you, Matt. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you, Sherry. And yeah, that's one of the things I've been doing lately is working in the immunization clinics, immunizing people. And so I alone have immunized hundreds of people, and it feels pretty awesome to be part of that as well. It's a nice way to finish this thing off. So feel
Awesome.
lucky.
Thanks, Matt. Do you want to mention anything else, or you feel like you've shared everything you'd like to share?
No, I think I've shared everything I'd like to share. I just,
Awesome.
yep. I mean, of course, happy to talk more about nursing and all the opportunities, but let's keep some room for these other panelists. So thanks so much.
That's great. Everybody, let's give a round of applause for Matt. Thank you, Matt, for coming out and participating today. That's awesome. Thanks, Matt. We'll see you later. All right, next up, our panelist 3, Lindsay. She's going to come back and share what she does all day. Oh, there you go. What do you think Lindsay does? Lindsay, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to reveal myself. So yeah, I'm Lindsay and I work as a carpenter, and I work for Farmer Construction, and they're an amazing local company who builds all sorts of amazing buildings and houses that you've probably been in. So when I think back to being your age, I was the student who had a really hard time sitting. I liked to move. I liked any time we could do hands-on activities. I did like science and math, but more if I understood how it worked and that I could use my hands to learn it. So I loved sports, still do. But for me, I didn't have any tradespeople in my life, especially female ones. So I had never met a female tradesperson. But when I got to high school, I decided to be brave and I tried a carpentry class. And when I tried that class, I realized I loved to work with my head and my hands. to create things. And I like to tinker. When I was at home, I got to work with my parents and I got to build things. So it's important that you see that I have a hard hat, because safety is really important. And I know that we've all learned this year. So I have a hard hat that keeps me safe. This vest is really bright, and that's so that everybody can see me when I'm on the job site. And I also get to carry around all these awesome tools. How many kids have used a hammer before at home? Can I see hands? Who's used a hammer? Whoa, that's awesome.
amazing. Wow.
So I use a hammer to build. Other tools that I have, this is called a speed square. I don't know if anyone's used a speed square before, but this is so that our houses aren't crooked and our buildings, so that we keep nice and straight. I work with a lot of nails, so I have a nail puller. So if you like to work with things with your hands and to create, I would say that being a carpenter working in construction is a pretty awesome trade. Now, I want to just point out, someone had asked me a great question. It was, had I gone to university? And I said no, because I didn't go to university, I went to college. So here in Victoria, we have a college called Camosun, and it actually, you can learn lots of things at Camosun, but for me, I learned how to be a carpenter at Camosun. So if you want to work in the trades, you can go to college, which is just different. It's a post-secondary school, but not university, it's college. So I love my job because I'm inside right now and I'm feeling really hot in all of this gear. But when you're outside working, it's beautiful. You get fresh air, you get to work with other people. And I've now in my career, I get to lead a group of people to build things, which is really exciting as well. So I would say if you are a person who likes to work with your head and your hands, you like to build things, you like to work with other people, you like to be outside, you like to see something created, you know, like how good it feels when you make a Lego set, I would say that construction or carpentry would be a really great job for you. So I think that's it. Bonnie, do you have any questions for me?
No, I just, I really heard what you said about being that type of person in class that has a hard time sitting still. And I think some of us really feel that's difficult, but when you get a job like you have, that energy gets used to build things, which that must feel really great.
It does. I love it. I'm never sitting still, ever. And at the end of the day, I feel accomplished. I'm tired. My body's tired. But yeah, I'm not sitting down, and that's what I love.
Excellent. Thanks, Lindsay. Thanks for sharing. That's amazing. Everybody, let's give Lindsay a big clap, a big thank you for coming out today and sharing her career journey. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hang in there, guys. We're at panelist number 4. Sherry is going to share what she does all day.
Okay, everybody. So I don't have a uniform that I wear anymore, but I will show you something that I actually earned through many years of service. You see these? These are my medals. I worked in the Canadian Armed Forces for 22 years in the Army. And I got to travel all over the world doing some really cool things. And because of the work that I did in the Army, the government of BC as well, government of Canada, as well as the Queen gave me these medals. So these are actually medals that you get to keep for the rest of your life, and you can pass them on to your family and everything, which actually shows the work that you did and the contributions that you made to keeping Canada safe. So these are my medals. So I'm very proud of these. And these are medals that also people have gotten during World War I and II and things like that. So I actually served overseas in the Sinai and during different missions in other places in the world. So these are my medals. And I would like to, I just wanted to show you those so that you actually have an idea about my past. As well, I'm going to show you a cool picture. So this is me, and I think that this is going to get shared with you as well. But that's a picture of me while on a mission doing an obstacle course with a whole bunch of other countries. And what we did during that obstacle course is we learned how to do, have you ever seen a movie where people are going through these obstacle courses and they're crawling on the ground with their hands and under in ropes and going through water and doing all kinds of fun exercises where they're actually up high on a rope and walking across tight ropes and things like that in the military? Have you ever seen that?
Thumbs
During
up if you've ever seen that in a movie.
Yeah, so that's the kind of things that we did as well during the time that I was actually in the military. And honestly, these are things that we did for fun as well, but that is just a part of what I did. The other thing that I do now and what I did while I was in the military, so even though I got to do all those cool things, I also worked with one computer, two computers, three computers, which is the one that I'm on, 4 computers, 5 computers, 6 computers. So that is how many computers I have at home. And then sometimes I go on to the base at CFB Esquimalt where we have more computers that I work on. So when I work on many different networks, and my job is a cybersecurity professional. So for a living, what I do is I keep the computer systems that belong to national defense safe, and we make sure that nobody can get into our networks and do bad things to Canadians. And every single day, my job is to make sure that you're safe and everybody else in the country are safe, as well as all of the people that are deployed overseas on ships, planes, and during different missions in Afghanistan and places like that. So my job every day is to make sure that all the security systems are safe and that we can actually give everybody an opportunity to work safely every day, and also to help you as Canadians. So I hope that you really enjoyed our presentation. And if you have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer any.
So Sherry, when you say protect our systems, do you mean against hackers?
Yes, so against hackers, as well as against any type of what we call vulnerabilities. So what we do is we make sure all of our computer networks, we have networks that have hundreds of thousands of people on them every single day. So what we do is we make sure that all of those systems are protected through different types of updates and patching. As well, we make sure that all of the hackers, so in order to protect ourselves, we protect ourselves so that other people can't get in and do anything bad to our networks, just like your computer systems at home. We make sure of that. And then also we make sure that all of our systems are protected for our missions. So when the ships go to sea, when other people are doing things on the networks, and they can actually carry out their duties safely. So it's all computer and engineering and everything that we do to make sure that everything is safe every single day for everybody.
Great. So thumbs up, how many people have heard of hackers or have experienced maybe their computer being hacked? Yeah, so it's a really big threat right now. And our information is very important, isn't it, Sherry, in trying to protect it from others getting it. So your job is very important, isn't it?
It's very important, and it's very important too that everybody is very aware of what they're doing on social media for different platforms, and to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe and that you're not actually communicating or contacting people that you don't know. So always be mindful when you're online, you know, either playing games or looking at social media, to make sure that you're safe and that everybody is doing the right thing for you, and that you're speaking to who you think you're supposed to and everything. So we have a lot of people out there that do really, really great things every day, but we do also have some computer hackers that really enjoy coming in and seeing if they can get onto our systems and getting onto your systems at home. And a lot of the time it's just to be a nuisance, and then sometimes it's for financial gain. So hackers right now are making a lot of money in the industry by hacking into people's systems and stealing their information, and then they hold that for ransom until you actually pay your ransom that they're requesting of you. And sometimes it's millions of dollars. So it's very expensive to actually get your information back. So what you put out there in the web and on the internet and through social media and all of the other things that you do is very important, because sometimes that information is what hackers would like to have.
Awesome. Thanks, Sherry. I do have a question. I think maybe we'll hold on to it till the end, and maybe if you don't mind staying on.
Okay.
One of the classes is wondering if you could explain more about your medals. So at this point, let's put that just to the side. And do you mind staying on after a little
I
bit
will.
just to answer?
Yes.
So at the end of this event, if any other classes would like to stay on and learn a little more about Sherry's medals, you can do so. But we're going to move on now to our fifth and final panelist, Jamin. And he's going to talk a little bit about what he does all day. Hi, Jamin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Yes, thank you. So you guys were spot on. I'm totally an artist, and I have been since I was in grade 7. So that's when I was first introduced to art, and I just knew that it was like a huge passion of mine. So I pursued art classes in school from grade 8 to 12, and I had the same teacher for 5 years in a row. And that teacher was so supportive of me and my passion for learning. He even offered new opportunities outside of the curriculum that was offered, and even invited me to his studio that he had at his place, and gave me the opportunity to work on side projects other than just what was required for schoolwork. And I was like, oh, this is the best, right? Like just being able to learn from someone that was so talented and so skilled. And he's retired now. He's 82 years old now, and I'm still friends with him, and I've been friends with him ever since. And you know, the power of art and connection with people and history and storytelling, like it's just magical. This t-shirt is one of the designs that I have made specifically for the 2017 Canada Games. I don't know if you know the Olympics, but Canada Games is very much like that for teenagers. And they also had made a medal too for some of the dignitaries, so some of the important folks that had helped put together the event and stuff like that. So being able to help people in these ways in terms of sharing culture, sharing information, building our thinking together, that like we have the same thoughts, but how can we put it into an image? You know, like how can we share this idea and feel united? So this specific design is called Team BC Unite. And it's about all the Team BC athletes that felt that same strength and courage and resilience. And I wanted to create this design that has a feather inside of the center portion of, kind of looks like a ball, right? And that's to like keep grounded and understand your traditions and past. And then also I have a raven and an orca also in the design. So understanding that our knowledge comes from as low as the ocean, but as high as the skies, right? And how we play a part in all of that. And it's so cool that with digital design, with digital graphics, I've been able to create stuff like this, learning tools for different schools, and connect the dots. So I make these sheets about how you can actually do Indigenous design yourself and like learn the fundamentals of the shapes, like the ovoid. That's very signature to our culture, especially from my mother's culture. She's from a small town called Alert Bay of the Kwakwaka'wakw peoples. And my father's side of the family is Polish. Kind of look like a Polish person, don't I? But I've had such a great opportunity to work in different mediums and be innovative. And one of my most recent innovative products and materials that I've created is this piece of plastic. It's called Mylar. And I've worked with a design shop in town, and they ink print, just like a regular printer you might see in an office. They ink printed my designs. And in a bunch of the schools here in Victoria, they've actually put these plastic sheets up inside of the light casing in your room. So maybe in your classroom, maybe in the hallway, office spaces. And it provides another layer of connection to our culture, but also the outside world and how we think of these figures outside and how we can bring the outside inside. Give us the extra piece and strength while we're doing what we're doing inside. There's another piece I have here. It's a drum that I had designed, and the symbolism of it is, even though sometimes we feel like we might be in the dark, that we can always go back to feeling grateful and giving honor, respect, and trust that everything's going to be okay. You know, whatever it is that we're ever having troubles with in our days, you know, we can always just look up and just think, you know what, I feel happy today, you know, and that's a personal choice. So like, I want to reflect this particular design in how we can just be at peace within ourselves every day, especially with the things that we like to do. Like for me, passion is art, right? So I have an equation just to finish off here. I don't know if is this backwards or is this right ways?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So art, so what equals art in my interpretation is story plus design. So when you color, when you doodle, when you draw, when you make anything, even if it's paper mache, you work with woodworking, whatever it is, your story is what drives your creation, right? And how you make it, your design, those two together equals the art, right? So if you're putting stuff on the fridge, you're like, hey, look what I did today. Look what I got, you know, in here, that's what you're thinking about, right? So this is my interpretation to art. You're all artists, you're all creatives. And I just want to say thank you to Bonnie for this opportunity. And it's really nice to meet everyone. So, hi, Chika.
Thank you, Jamin. And I just want to say I'm an art teacher. That's actually my background. So Jamin and I have some things in common, but he's doing a logo for our department right now. And his story that goes along with his design is so powerful that it makes that design even better, even something more that you can connect with. So Jamin, thank you for all of your work and that idea of bringing kind of soul to the artistry that you do. So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Jamin. Let's give Jamin a big round of applause. That's awesome. Thanks so much, Jamin, for attending.
Thank you.
Great. Okay. Well, I think we are done. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation today. I hope that you will share what you learned with the people at home. And just, it's a good time to start asking questions. I'm going to send a biography on all of our guests to your teacher. It should come through in a few minutes. So if you have questions, you can contact me and I will reach out to panelists if you have any specific questions that weren't answered. If you're interested in finding out more about Sherry's medals and what she did to get those medals, you can stay on. And for others, thank you for attending today. Thank you.